So it has been a while on this channel since we last talked about a bottle of wine, the kind of thing that you would probably get at the end of a long week on the way home from work. We've covered all sorts of things like Madeira and sherry and all the kind of, fortified, unusual stuff that you're not going to be drinking on a week-to-week basis. This is something maybe a little bit closer to that. This is a 2017 Washington State Riesling called Kung Fu Girl, and I've got some previous with this wine. I have worked in pubs that have stocked it in the past as part of their bottle-only selection, and then I've subsequently gone on to buy a bottle back in the day and tried it and enjoyed it. One of the things that I discovered is that I'm quite partial to Riesling. I've talked a bit already about wanting to kind of broaden my horizons a little bit when it comes to wine this year, because it's something I don't really know much about. It's one of those things where I kind of look at it and it's just like a wall of information. So I'd like to do a bit of learning. So I thought I'd start by exploring something that I know that I've had some good experiences with in the past. So this is one of them. About halfway through the bottle and I've been enjoying it, and I thought I would bring some thoughts about it to the channel, but I thought, well, that's not enough on its own just to say, hey, here's a random wine that I bought and I'm going to drink it and tell you about it. I was like, well, there must be a story behind it, because that's a weird name, Kung Fu Girl. That's an odd name for a Riesling. So I did a bit of research, and as it turns out, the guy behind these wines, Charles Smith, decided to make or find a Riesling that paired really well with Chinese food. I'm not oversimplifying that for you. That is quote-unquote Chinese food as a massive umbrella term, which I thought was a little bit odd, because that's a catch-all. I mean, Chinese food is not one specific type of thing. There's all sorts of things within that. So I thought it would be a bit of fun if I saw if this can pair reasonably well, very well, not well at all, with some Chinese food. So I've ordered takeout. And I actually need to go and collect it in a few minutes, so I'm going to go do that. I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to see if the two pair well with each other or not. So that's the premise of this video. I'm going to eat some food and drink some wine, and you're going to watch it. Maybe. You might have clicked off already. If you have, I got the goods. So, yes. One was something a little bit different this time. I don't normally go with chow mein, and I don't normally go with pork, so this is a little bit unusual for me, but I thought, why not? I'll challenge myself, it's 2021, it's a new year. And I'm going to eat this out of the box, because I love myself. Pairing food, I think I have the wine after I've eaten some food, so I'm going to have to... You're literally watching a man eating Chinese takeaway on the internet right now. People watch worse things on the internet, to be fair, so I don't feel too bad. Oh, that's a big piece of pork. That's a big piece. That's also a big piece. Meh. I'm going to have to cut a lot of this out because it's just chewing. Okay, straight off the bat, that is some sexy pork. All my previous encounters with pork have been my mother's cooking, and I've never done pork for myself. My mum would always burn food because she was terrified of, like, salmonella and stuff, so she would always overcook. And when I say overcook, I don't mean like by 15 minutes, I mean like hours. So I always thought that pork and beef were just bad, and I didn't really enjoy it. It's a miracle I've gone back to meat at all, really. But hey, commitment. That is some cracking pork. So, in with the wine now. Okay. The wine's really fruity. It's like a green apples, lemon kind of a thing, which it pairs really nicely with salty meat. You could probably do this with pastrami as well. You could probably do it with chicken nuggets, and it would still work well because those base elements work the same. But it's not fair to judge this after only one bite, so I'm just gonna have to keep going. Done this as a live stream. That would have been a terrible idea, John. Don't ever do that. Can't really say that I'm testing a chow mein fully if I don't at least have the noodles before trying the pairing again. To all the people that do wine pairings on YouTube, I get it now. I get this. I see what you're doing. You're just living your best life in front of a camera and getting people to watch it. You cunning fucks. Right, more wine. It goes really well together for all of the previous reasons that I mentioned. I don't know if maybe I've just gotten lucky in that I've picked something that is generically Chinese foodie enough for this to get away with. That having been said, I've watched a few videos, mainly by Whitney Adams, where she does some really weird pairings, and I'm going to link some of those down below just to put a bit of work into this otherwise luxurious evening that I'm having. But I'm going to go and eat the rest of this and drink some more wine. Long and short is, the mineral fruity notes in this work really well with something that's quite salty and fatty. And I don't have anything else to say about that, because I'm not a sommelier. I'm very much getting to grips with this. So this is kind of like a boots on the ground opinion of, does this pairing work or not? And the answer is, it does. Part of that is to do with the fact that this is a good Riesling to begin with. You could totally just drink this on its own. I have drank this on its own in the past. But pairing it with food, there's a sprinkle of fairy dust that occurs. There's something magical about pairing drinks and food. People have been doing it with beers, people have started doing it with whiskies and gins. You know, the sky is the limit when it comes to food and drink pairings. That's a thing. I don't yet know enough about, in terms of like dissecting flavonoids in different drinks and pairing them with different foods. Sometimes it's a do the same thing, sometimes it's a total contrast kind of a thing, but I'm getting there, I'm learning, and this works, and I'm going to have a good evening. Let me know down below, what are your favourite food and drink pairings? Doesn't even have to be wine, although if you want to leave me some weird food and wine pairings downstairs, or food and beer pairings as well, I might test them out, because this was fun. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to pretend, oh woe is me, oh hard work, because you have eyes. You know I'm fucking loving myself right now. I am living my best life. The cat is at the window, so that's another thing I need to deal with, but responsibility can wait, because I have Chinese food. Should have exhaled sooner on that sentence. Thumb this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see a man eating takeaways and drinking booze, because I can't guarantee that won't be the only thing I do on this channel from this point forward, because, oh, why have I not done this sooner? This is excellent.